Alright, so I thought I'd do a video on the Fortress Strongbolt Decoder. Now I said there's a couple of videos on it, but yeah, they look a bit shit, so I thought I'd do one myself, right? So, decoder's by here. This is the original version of it, don't mistake that. Let me just show you what you get in the box, alright? So you're going to get some reader wires, which are these, but I'll show you these in a bit. You're going to get your pins, you get yourself some tweezers, a makeup key, some grease, and then you're going to get this, which is basically for tensioning the curtain and running the reader wire over, right? So this will screw into there. Now, show you this a bit closer. Right in the end there, you can see that there's a hole, and that is for a pin. You just slide the pin. You're supposed to put a little bit of grease in the end of that. Slide the pin in, okay, and that's gonna throw the bolt for you. That's gonna tension the curtain for us, all right? So all this thing does is it tensions the bolt, kind of like a curtain pick. All right, so this will go into the lock, and we're going to turn it towards the back of the levers. Okay, and when this runs through, you can see that this part here lines up with the pointer on the outside. Okay, so they both bang on. So wherever that sits, whatever lever that hits underneath, you're going to get a read on the outside as well. I mean, I've talked about this before, having a curtain pick with a handle. Yeah, you can't have a round one, like a 2-in-1 or something, unless you've got some kind of pointer on it. If you want to get into decoding and stuff, even with a curtain pick, you need to have some kind of indication from the outside of the lock of where that is sitting. And sometimes you need it very specific, right? So it's all well and good you having a curtain pick and the handle looks like this, right? Yeah, you can lift the levers up and down. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea where it's sitting. You can't put a number to it. You can't say, oh, yeah, that's a 1, that's a 4. You can't do it, right? You do not need to be messing around with handles like that. Put it that way, then you're talking, because you can actually use that as an indicator guide. But if you've got something like that, forget it, man. It ain't going to work, right? So, what I'm going to do is I'll chuck a lock in the vise. I'll set the decoder up, and I'll try and show it from the front, and then I'll try and show it from the side, just to show you what this is doing as well. All right, so give me a minute. Okay, so I've got a side view by here now. We can see the levers from this cutaway. All right, we've got lever 1 there, lever 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now again, I've said this before, right? If you're picking or decoding, levers 3 and 5, they're always going to be the same height, okay? So if you get a certain read on lever 3, lever 5 should always be the same. If you're getting a different reading, then you're going to have to check that again, alright? Because they should always be the same. Now, we've put this tool in, and we've turned it to the back of the lock. I just want to show you what it's doing. Okay, so we've tensioned it. You can see the pointer wire by here, and then the reader part is in there, right? All it's doing is you take it up as far as it'll go until it stops. You don't want to push it up too far and then end up lifting the lever up. Okay, take it up until it stops, and it's going to give you an indication of where the lever sits. All right, and then you can decode it from the wire outside. So all it's doing is sitting underneath the lever. Okay, and it's going to tell you exactly what number that lever is from the chart once you put it on the front. All right, so we're going to spin this around now, and we'll do it with a chart on it. Okay, so I've tried to set this up so that you can see it from my eye line. Now, the only problem with this decoder, right, is if you don't get your eye line right, you're going to decode it wrong, because depending on where you're looking at it, a 1 could read as a 2, a 2 could read as a 3. So you need to find a position where you're going to use all the time. Stay in that position always, and never move your head until you've got the code, right? Because if you start moving your head and writing things down, your eye line could move slightly, and that could change the code, right? So, but even if you start off and you're not in the right position, as long as you keep your head still, and you run the code all the way through, you may get the code wrong, right? So you may be like 1 code out, but it just be a case then if you're dropping all the pin heights one direction, maybe up or down, right? So this is the chart I made. Any chart that I get that comes with a decoder like this, I'll always make my own, right? So when I first got this, I took so many Fortress and Strongbolts apart just to make sure that the reads were proper. And I found that 3s and 4s will sometimes read slightly differently. All the others are fine. An 8, I did put nothing for an 8 because it'd be down there. But 3s and 4s, they don't always sit exactly where the original chart would show you. Again, probably because, you know, they're factory made, may get some differences on them. But, you know, this chart here is very accurate. So what we're going to do is, like we've seen on the side on there just now, we're going to take this wire up until it won't go any further, okay, and then we're going to read whatever number it lands closest to. So you can see that one there is a 2. I'm going to push forward a little bit, and it's a 1. So lever 1 is a 2, and lever 2 is a number 1 height. Let's push forward a bit till it reaches. Okay, you can see it stopping there. So we've gone 2, 1, 6. Remember now, 3 and 5 are the same. So 3 is reading as a 6. So let's read lever 4. Right, lever 4 is sitting down there. So it's lower than a 7. The only one left is an 8. So we've gone 2, 1, 6, 8. Now 3 and 5 are the same. So lever 5 should, and it does, read as a 6. So there's 5. There's 4. There's 3. Now they both read as 6s. Let's come forward backwards a bit. You can see position 2 is a 1. And position 1 is a 2. Right, so the code for that is 21686. Alright. Now, let me get these pins. I've already put that into the makeup key. Alright, so it's 21686. Now, if you want to make this up to look like a real key, you're just going to mirror it from side to side. So, whatever... Hang on. Whatever that one is there, in this case it's a 2, you're going to put a 2 in that end. And whatever that one is, which is a 1, you're going to put it in there. So there's a 2 and a 1, and we're going to put a 2 and a 1 in there to make it look like a real key. So let me just do that now. Number 2 and number 1. And then we end up with that. Show you the original key. Okay. So let's try him. Again, you can leave the chart on, you can take the chart off, whatever. Lovely stuff, right? So it's a very simple tool. Well, like I said, the chart that comes with it, or the chart that you get, it's nearly bang on, but there are quite a few, and I took so many of these locks apart. There was a few differences between the 3 and the 4, not a lot, but I did find that quite a few of them were reading at 2 slightly different positions. So if you do get the tool, just bear that in mind, alright? Okay, cheers.